give us one word that we can share to bridge the gap and eliminate barriers that keep us from oneness and brotherhood that we seek.
One word?
One word? You're talking to preachers? You want to give us one word?
I know. It's hard to give a preacher just one word.
I'll let Luis go first on this one.
Restoration. My word is restoration.
Restoration. Okay.
Every builder knows that if it's going to restore a dilapidated building or a house, to restore it, it has to figure out the blueprints of what the house looked like originally, or define it how it wants to look when it's completed. Restoration. How do we define restoration in Athens?
Okay. Okay.
Great. I would have to say mine is the word vision. We have to lift our eyes and see something beyond us. And when I say vision, I'm talking, not just aspirationally, but I'm talking beyond the walls of the church. So much of what we do as church is within the walls of the church. We don't get beyond the driveway, right? All our conversation is about what's happening at the church. Well, it's time for the church to be in the world. It's time for us to practice an incarnational ministry. And so for me, it's that whole idea. What do we see? We often prescribe things in our heads about how we're going to tackle a problem. And to Luis's point, it's about, getting beyond us and looking at the wider world to see how God is presenting, how God is already moving in many cases. And for me, for example, at Hillside, we have a partnership with Forever Fed, which does a feeding ministry, a food ministry in the community. And it's very well used, and in an area that you would think is as supposedly affluent as Woodstock is, especially over the Town Lake area, that, there shouldn't be any food problems, food scarcity. There is. People line up, at least once a week to receive food. And so the question, as I see the lines and everything else, is always about, to see beyond that, to see what are the other vulnerabilities that are a part of this, and how are the issues of race related to these things. They're not the cause of it, but they certainly have a role to play in some of these issues. And so for me, it's kind of like in our prayer, asking for a new vision, asking God for a new vision for who we are to be. And to Luis's point, keep the language of politics out of it. I mean, in fact, if there was a way to keep politicians out of the whole conversation, I would keep them out of the conversation. because they would throw all kinds of stuff on it. Well, you can't say God, you can't say Jesus, you can't say this. It's like, well, then leave.
Yes.
Let the brothers and sisters who believe in the power of renovation and transformation and forgiveness and redemption, that's our language right there, right? That's our language. So let's fall back on that language. And again, take this 4-year mentality, the 140 character mentality out of the whole picture, because God made us to be able to speak and shut our mouth. Speak
Amen.
And listen, right?
Amen.
Yes.
I would much rather be in a room with brothers and sisters who speak, and we have the courage to shut up and listen to what my friend says across the way. And if I don't understand what they're saying, to be able to say, hey Luke, can you unpack that a little bit more for me, because I'm not African American, or to Brother Luis, I'm not Latino. How help me understand that, and take those people who jump on people, to the whole understanding of the oppressor, Brother Ortiz, the oppressed becoming the oppressor. Same thing. Take them out of the picture, because they obviously are not in it for the long haul. They want the quick win. They want the sprint. But we all know that this is a marathon, and we've got to be committed to the marathon.